Hi guys, so today's topic, does eating too much fat increase your fat percent? So the automatic answer that a lot of people think is yes, of course it does, but when you actually break it down, that isn't the case, all right? Now there's a couple of things to this as well. So one is this is regards to maybe you're trying to lose fat percent, you're on a fat loss program. And number two, it's very, very different when you think about fats when it comes to health. All right, but I'll come to that. So, having too much fat, will that increase your fat percent? Not necessarily. So, if you have your maintenance calories and you are under your calories, or you're sort of on the maintenance level, if a lot of that is comes from from fat in your foods, then you will not increase your fat percent. All right. So it doesn't directly turn to fat. So what does turn to fat is if you're having excess calories from what your body needs. So that's how it turns to fat. So it's a completely different thing. Now, sort of 80s, 90s, what happened is there was this massive craze of sort of cutting calories and cutting fat out of a diet. Now, the main reason why this was is per 1 gram of carbohydrate and per 1 gram of protein, there is 4 calories. Now, 1 gram of fat, there's 9 calories. So you can see the difference. There's more than double the calories per gram. So what the thought is, like sort of the 80s, 90s, even into the noughties, they thought if we reduce fat from people's diets, what will happen is that'll automatically lead to people eating less calories, which is definitely the case. But as we know, fat is essential to the diet, as well as carbohydrates is, and also protein is really important. It's important to obviously eat a balanced diet. So that's that one, all right? So when it comes to fat loss or when it comes to maintenance calories, it doesn't really make a difference if you're within your calories, but you're having more fat percent, all right? Now, when it does matter is when it comes to health. So health is weirdly different to a fat loss journey. You can still lose fat by being very, very unhealthy. All right. So a balance between having snacks and eating healthy is the best way forward for a lot of people, because that means that you won't binge or you won't feel like you're going without foods. Now, on a health point of view, it's really important that you do, however, look at good and bad fats. When I say good and bad, it's inverted commas. All right, so you've got a few different fats. Now, I'm going to go through fats in more detail for people that want to know, but for today's talk, I'm going to keep it very simple. All right, there's a few different types of fats. You've got saturated fats, you have polyunsaturated, you've got a couple of different ones within that family, and you've also got trans fats. So trans fat is found in things like French fries, and really sort of like fast foods. Saturated fats you can get in a lot of different foods. It's in the back of all your labels, but saturated fats is not horrendous if you're having in small amounts. But trans fat is quite bad for you, all right? There's a lot of links to a lot of health issues from trans fats. So you have to really limit these foods. And then polyunsaturates is the classed as the better type of fat for your body. And this is actually linked in a lot of studies to reducing cholesterol rather than the other two, which gain cholesterol, all right? So just to keep it simple, when it comes to a fat loss journey, obviously fat doesn't matter as long as you're within the calories, but switch it over, and when it becomes health, then it is very, very important. And it's very, very important you break that down into what type of fat you have. All right. MyFitnessPal breaks this down. So if you go into MyFitnessPal and you look at what foods you've had for the day, it does break it down into saturates as well. And it's in your micros. So when you go into your micros, your micros or your macros broke down into individual types of fat. All right. So it's worth having a look, because even though you might be on this fat loss journey and you might be losing lots of fat and you're looking good, and it's really important to keep an eye on the health as well. Normally they come hand in hand, but not always. You might be, your cholesterol might be high because you might be doing it the wrong type of way. All right. So it's worth having a little look into your MyFitnessPal details, looking at your micros and just seeing where you're at. If you get stuck on that, let us know. And we will have a look at your readouts for you. But yeah, so having too much fat doesn't necessarily increase your fat percent. It's all relative to what you're doing and what you're doing on a calorie deficit. All right. So I hope this helps out, guys. And more importantly, I hope it helps out when you're looking at what types of fat, which I will go into in another, I'll probably do about 20 minutes on that one. And that'll just be a separate topic just on fats for those that may be interested in having a look at those in further detail. All right. So thanks for having me today. And I hope that's helped you all.